Alrighty, guys, we're gonna try this one more time. I recorded a freaking 20-minute video of all the stuff, and my stupid webcam software decided to record it on my webcam mic, which is terrible. My webcam mic sucks. I'm recording it on a Blue Yeti. You're still probably gonna hear an echo in the background because, well, as you can see, my house is empty. There's nothing in here, but at least it'll sound a little bit better here on the Yeti. All right. Anyway, so before I start, let me just do a quick run through of where I'm at, what's going on. So behind me, you'll notice I'm in a very empty, echoey room, with the exception of, let me see, everything's backwards on the internet. So there we go. Okay. So that is my TV sitting on a like portable desk. That is my cover that normally my chair would be on, but it wasn't really necessary considering I'm on hard floor right now. And behind me, let me see if I can turn. So if you look right here, this is a queen size bed on the floor in my living room. So you've literally gotten the entire tour of everything that is left in my house right now. I'm sitting in an empty house by myself because my wife's out of town this weekend, but by myself, like a true bachelor. We tried to sell our house. We couldn't get it sold in the first 45 days, so we had to return to the house. We're still selling it, but unfortunately, we couldn't get it sold quickly. And we're kind of camping out in the house until we can get the thing sold. So we're very minimalist right now. I'll show you a couple things. It's hard because I'm at the end of the webcam cord. So there's my guitar, my kitchen with all the fake staged items that will hopefully help it sell better, like those little plates with the napkins and junk, and my fan. And that is it. My house is empty. My stormtrooper thing. Hope you enjoy it. All right. So anyway, first of all, I've been gone. That's why I haven't had any videos out. I was in a place with very minimal internet, and let me put these keys down. Place with very minimal internet, and just a depressing place. Not a place where I really want to play games with people. But anyway, the reason I made this video is I want to try and explain why I left War of Rights and why I left the Federal Army, the community that I helped found. Well, helped found is probably wrong because it was actually founded right when I joined the 3rd U.S. and I sort of took over administration of it later on. But I'd say I was there in the founding days, so I helped it found in that aspect. So how do I put this again, because I got to re-record this whole thing. There were 3 reasons I left, and I'll try to list them out, hopefully a little better than on my last one. I left because the community's toxic, not Federal Army, but War of Rights in general. Community's toxic. The game progress is just too slow for me. I think that's hurting the community. I'll explain that in a minute. And last but not least, it was majorly impacting my family life, and it was definitely hurting my relationship with my wife and kid. And to put it frankly, guys, my wife and kid are way more important than you. So, it was not a difficult choice when the time came. So, first off, with the toxic community aspect of it, as any of you who play War of Rights know, community can be pretty awful. Now, if you've ever played games like Holdfast, I mean, that community's pretty dumb too, but there's a difference. With Holdfast, it's just a bunch of people memeing and trying to be edgy by posting stupid racial garbage or Hitler speeches or whatever when in voice chat whenever they're playing the game. We all just kind of laugh at them and roll our eyes. So that's a different kind of toxicity. It's just a bunch of people being kids. With War of Rights, it's a much more simulator-based game, milsim, so it was a lot more serious atmosphere there. So the toxicity isn't necessarily people goofing around because they come and they go and they're gone. But in the actual community itself, there's a lot of, I gotta say this without saying any swear words because my channel generally is clean. A lot of meat swinging, if you understand what I'm talking about. A lot of guys trying to have the biggest member, thinking that they're the best, and constantly trying to hurt others to build themselves up. Whenever I approach a community, I try to build it with a base of integrity, of understanding, of forgiveness, someone hurts you, instead of going after them and starting a war, just ignore them and move on. It's not worth the trouble. I myself personally am a Christian, so I try to live by those standards as best I can. I'm not perfect, far from it, but I do my best to live by those standards. And when I build up a community, I do my best to found it on the same standards of treating others respectfully, treating others with love, so on and so forth. We won't go too deep into that. But the War of Rights community, uh, when I left, it was probably at one of its lowest points. The game had not had a major patch in almost a year. I think in over a year, maybe almost a year. The artillery patch was coming, we were told, but we had no idea when. Turns out it came a few months after I left. But the problem when your player base begins to steadily decline, as it did, the people who remain tend to be the most well, I don't want to say the most toxic people, because there are plenty of good people still in the game, but the most vocal people, I suppose would be the right word, the most passionate. There we go. Most passionate people. And unfortunately, the passion tends to lean towards bad behavior, not towards people who are passionate about just the Civil War or about helping others or about having fun. So it got pretty ugly. The What I was doing as a commanding officer. So when I left, I was a lieutenant colonel, and my job as a commanding officer was to filter out all the garbage. And there's a lot of it, you guys, that you never saw. I'll probably never talk about, but there was lots and lots of crap that went on behind the scenes that would have just made you hate the game and leave. But sorry for the squeaky chair. But I did my best to protect my guys specifically from that, because people don't want to play a game to just argue with others and have others call them cheaters and to beat them down and to shout racist things at them and just be overall just unpleasant people. People aren't going to stick around in a game for that long, so they leave. So instead, the commanding officers, such as myself, others in the 3rd US, others in the FA, and others in the community in general, not just our little groups, but we do our best to keep that stuff away from the players so that the players can just enjoy themselves and have fun and enjoy their time in our units, in our regiments. So I did that for years. I could only take so much, and one day I broke. It wasn't a gradual thing. I wish I could say it was, where I just slowly but surely got uninterested in the game. But the truth is, one day I just snapped. I was just like, I'm done. Why am I still doing this? I'm not enjoying myself. I haven't had fun in months. I like the people I'm doing it for, but that's not reason enough to stick in a game. Because although I treat you like family, you're not my actual family, and my family is more important, guys. So I up and left. That was one of the reasons, the toxicity in the community, which is bad. An example I like to use is if you're aware of the Dead Sea over by Israel and the Jordan River, I believe it is. I think it's the Jordan River that flows into it. The Dead Sea, the reason that it's called the Dead Sea is it has a very high mineral content, specifically salt. And the Jordan River flows into it, but the water inside this giant inland sea or lake or whatever you want to call it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there, and it gets more and more toxic, and fish can't live in it. I don't think birds can do anything. Like it's not good for life. And that's kind of how the War of Rights community there was just this influx of crap, and it wasn't filtered out and sent on. It just was allowed to stew in the community. And as the game went longer and longer without an update, the people who were there to have fun, let's call them the casuals just slowly dropped off, and the only people remaining were the hardcore players. Unfortunately, many of the hardcore players are also hardcore douchebags, and it showed. And I did my best to protect my guys from them, and one day I just couldn't do it anymore. So that was one of the reasons I left. Another reason I left, I think I said there were 3 reasons. Now I forgot what the middle reason was. Was it was it the game updates lacking? That's probably what it was. That's not a really big reason for it. I was willing to wait through the updates, but definitely doesn't help that they took so freaking long. And anyway, so the other main reason that I left the game and that I left the community was it was affecting my time with my family, specifically my wife and kid, because the rest of my family kind of sucks. But my wife and kid, I mean, my whole life is them. I'm a father. I love my child. I love my wife, and my number one priority is to keep them safe, to keep them happy, to give them a good life. That's what any father's priority should be. And one day, my kid walks up to me, and I don't remember the exact words she said, but she was talking about me to one of her friends who was with her, as I recall. And she turned to him and she goes, "Yeah, this is my daddy, and he's always on the computer. He doesn't like to spend time with me." And then she walked away. And oh my God, oh, that broke my heart. I mean, that really cut me deep. It got me emotional. I'm not a particularly emotional guy. I'm pretty steady, but that one hurt. That one hurt really, really bad and broke my heart. And I started to think, like, she's right though. I'm always on this stupid computer helping guys playing a game I don't even want to play really because I'm just burnt out on it. And why am I doing this? Why am I sacrificing my family just to keep a slowly shrinking community alive? Now, again, I don't want this to come off as an insult to those of you who are part of my community. It's not your fault we were shrinking. I mean, the game had been out for a long time. Nothing new was happening in the game. It was just the same old, same old. And try as I might, some of the crap still filtered through to you guys. I did my best to protect you from it, but it just, why would you keep playing, right? A lot of you figured it out long before I did. And I realized that I was spending, I want to say probably 40 hours a week on this game just to keep events going, to get the community at large, War of Rights, into this hybrid thing that someone else had made it handed off to me, where we took a board game and we merged it with War of Rights so that we were moving on a campaign map, and then we'd go into the game and we'd actually fight. It was really fun. It was really cool. It's probably one of my prouder bits of that community. I didn't come up with the idea. Someone else came up with the idea. Then they came up with the idea, handed it to another guy who then quit for the reasons I'm quitting, and then handed it to me. And I remade the entire concept from scratch, rebuilt the map, did it all myself in Photoshop, all that stuff, put in a lot of effort. And the payoff was supposed to be this event that brought communities together. How do I say this without insulting that person? So the person who went before me, he was running the Grand Campaign, is what we called it. And he's a friendly guy. I got along with him fine. I guess he had a lot of history in the community of kind of freaking out and causing problems, but never did that for me. And I judge people based on how they act around me, not on what other people tell me about them. And while he's a friendly guy, he lacks some of the diplomatic skills that I would say I have. The ability to talk to someone without hurting their feelings or upsetting them or making it come off like I'm attacking them. He just says it straight. And that kind of hurt the community that was playing the Grand Campaign for a while. And when I took over, I thought, okay, well, my diplomatic skills are better. I'm going to be able to deal with people a lot easier than that guy did, and it'll be fine. Well, I was wrong. People are still douchebags no matter how nice you are to them. In fact, they'll take advantage of you being nice, which is what they did to me. I did my best to try and make everyone happy. And the more I tried, the more I was attacked. You're cheating. You're allowing this person to cheat. You're not listening. Why didn't the map start on time like it was supposed to? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? And I'm like, guys, I'm one guy. I'm not everyone's dad. I'm just a guy trying to play a freaking game with you guys and trying to give you a fun time. And it just felt kind of like I was getting dumped on for all of my effort. And contrary to a lot of people's opinion, I wasn't doing any of this for myself. I was doing it for you guys. I was trying to make it so that you guys had something to have fun and to entertain you in War of Rights until the patch came out. One day, I just finally got sick of it. I handed over the Grand Campaign to someone else, to two other guys from both the CSA and USA, so there wouldn't be any like, oh, XP prefers USA players, he hates CSA players, or whatever, which isn't true. Although CSA definitely has more in the way of a-holes than USA does, but that's just my opinion. and you're all entitled to my opinion. So, anyway, I was so burnt out, and so to go back to the family thing, I left mainly because it was affecting my time with my family, and it was getting to the point where it was hurting my marriage and the way my child perceives me. And I finally was like, that's it. I'm done. I've got to keep my priorities in line. I love leading communities, but I love my family a lot more. And it sucks because for me, playing games just for the sake of playing games, while it's fun, it's not the main thing that drives me when I play games. I absolutely love building and maintaining communities. I love meeting people online, all these different personalities. I like seeing a bunch of people from all over the world come together under one common cause and working together, treating people as friends. In real life, I don't really have many friends. We have maybe two couples that are friends, but they're not the kind of friends I go to and talk about anything serious, or not the kind of people who I would say are close friends. I hope they're not watching this because they're going to be like, really? But it's true. And I've never been good at making friends in real life. I'm extremely straightforward. I say exactly what's on my mind. It tends to lose friends for me. My wife and I are a little weird. We love each other very much. We're very affectionate. Even 14 years into our marriage, that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. That maybe they're having troubles in their marriage. I don't know. Anyway, I won't go too deep into that. But anyway, I make friends online very easily. I love meeting people all over the world. I used to run Alliance of Gamers, which got up to 20,000 members back in the early 2000s. We were the biggest group on the internet for a time there. I ran the Gorgonites, which got up to 300 members, I'd say. Federal Army, I didn't run the Federal Army. It was more of a democracy of sorts. But I think it's safe to say I was one of the primary representatives and founding members. And I think we got up to like 600 and some odd members at one point. So I'm very proud of all those accomplishments, and I love running communities. And it sucks for guys like me because that's my main drive in every game. Does this game have a dedicated community, and can I grow a group of friends from it? If it doesn't, then I'll play the game, enjoy it for a little while, and then I'm done with it. Like Shadow of War, for instance, really cool game. Lord of the Rings themed game. I played through it. This is pretty fun. Uninstalled it. I probably will never play it again. Good game though. Try it out if you haven't, and if you get it on sale. But games like Luck Catchers, which is where I built the Gorgonites, War of Rights, which is where I helped build the Federal Army. Alliance of Gamers started in Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, which was a free game at the time, way before free to play was a big concept. Had a lot of players. Anyway, I love that kind of stuff. If I find an MMO that I'm passionate enough about and has a large community, then I'm probably going to end up planting my roots into that and growing a community there as well. I can't help it. That's just what I love. That's my favorite part about gaming. I like to bring people together, and I like to make friends. And unfortunately, War of Rights really, man, that wounded me. That game freaking wounded me because I've dealt with toxic people in the past. They're everywhere. They exist. They're humans. But that community is a special kind of dirt, a special kind of turd pile where there is just a lot of bad blood in there. There are good guys. There are great players in there. Off the top of my head, anyone from the third, anyone from the FA, just about. We had the first South Carolina before they disbanded had some really great CSA members. They were actually very friendly. They were against racism. They were very careful about how they behaved around others. Very professional. I freaking loved playing with them. God, I'm drawing so many blanks because it's been so long. First Cav, if any of you from First Cav are watching, Staples was a pretty stand-up guy, really friendly to me. Even though back when I first started War of Rights, I hated First Cav because Crumb, I couldn't stand that guy. He was such a douche, but kind of discovered that he was just Australian, very outspoken. That's just kind of the way he is. And now I've come to terms. I really like those guys. And there's a couple other communities. The first New Jersey, really great professional guys. A few others, and those are the exception to the rule. Though there are a ton of groups out there that I just absolutely hate. I mean, I could name 10 off the top of my head right now that I just can't stand. virtually anyone in their community in the leadership position. I won't say their names because even though I'm no longer part of War of Rights, I don't want to stir up trouble for the FA. But you know who you are, and you guys can suck a chode. So, anyway, I left War of Rights. I was sheltering my guys from the toxic behavior for a long time, and I just finally couldn't do it anymore. The filter was full. You know, the filter was overloaded, and the water got dirty again. And to those of you who are watching, who are maybe still in the FA or no longer playing the game, I don't know. You think that I just kind of left you and never spoke to you all again because I don't like you. That's definitely not the case. I invited a lot of people to my personal Discord who I wanted to keep in contact with, and if I didn't invite you, it's probably because I forgot you, but maybe I don't like you. I don't know. There were people in our community I wasn't fond of, but I heard most of those people left anyway. And I will be building another community eventually if I find a game that I care about enough to do that in. I can't help it. That's just what I do. It's what I love to do, and that's what I'm always going to do. And anyway, I will be making more videos. You're going to see more content pretty soon. I don't know how frequently because right now my family's not here, which is why I can just sit here and talk to you guys. But when they're here, man, it's freaking loud, and I have to wait till my kid has gone to bed before I can make a video. And even then, if my wife wants to watch TV, well, then I can't make a video. So I'll do my best to get you guys some more content once the movie theaters open up and the China virus has passed, probably around November 3rd. Then I'm going to do some more video reviews. I'm going to try to do more game reviews coming up here. And anyway, so I hope that helps you guys. If you need to contact me, you can just comment here on YouTube, and I'll try to reply to your comments. And a lot of you have me on Discord, so you can contact me there too. Hopefully this video sound quality was pretty good. It's still going to have an echo. Sorry, that's my house. But I will talk to you guys later. See ya.